doing, Mike Brelly? I hope you're doing well as always. Now I have a lovely wisdom tooth just smashing through my gum right now, but I'm going to get by it and just carry on as if nothing's happening. But I wanted to talk to you today about muting unwanted strings, you know, muting noise, you know, sorting out both hands, you muting out the strings, and it's a big question I get asked a lot. And I was chatting to a lovely chap with an even greater name because he shares it with me, Michael. Hello, mate. I won't say your surname in case you get some random people hunting you out. But he got my video bundle from my website. We were chatting about, he kind of contacted me and we were chatting about guitar, and he said about a problem he has, what I know a lot of people have, which is muting out these unwanted noises. What the strings do, because they can make a bit of a rattle if you don't mute them out properly with both hands. So I wanted to share my little tips and tricks, what might help you out in trying to mute out these bad boys. So let's talk about the right hand. Now I have camera 2 right here, so we can get a bit of a closer look. But with the right hand, you know, the way I look at it is that if you're picking on the, say, the first string, okay, doing something like, oh, I'm gonna turn that delay off. No, you're muting out the string, sorry, I'm picking out on the string there, and then the rest of my palm is on top, you know, of the unwanted strings. So if you look here, all that's muted out. If I just pick that, you see what I mean? It's complete. So say we're doing the good old 1, 2, 3, 4 spider technique. Now as I'm playing, like I kind of rest a lot here, and on a lot of my guitars, I don't know if you can quite pick it out there or if you can pick it out here. Hopefully you can, but a lot of my guitars has a mark where my hand is resting on the guitar. Especially a guitar like this, which is a nitro cellulose, you know, it's gonna pick out shows wear a lot more. So if I'm here, so I'm on the body of the guitar there. Then as I kind of go down, picking on the other 5 strings, my hand is going to come down and literally rest on top of the strings. Okay, now then as I come up, the hand comes up. Alright, so it's quite a simple thing. Sometimes it's overlooked, you know, and if you're a player who kind of anchors their hand out and is, you know, hopefully you can see that, she's probably a better view here. You know, I'm not touching the strings at all. Now already I've got some string noise. Now imagine you're doing that with even just a little bit of gain. Actually, let's put quite a bit of gain on. You got that. Now if I do it with a string mute, well, not necessarily string mute, but muting the unwanted strings. See what I mean? So it's a lot more kind of cleaner. So try and get in that habit of just kind of, you know, moving your hand down. Obviously you've got to move it down if you're going down the strings, but make sure you're kind of laying on top of the unwanted strings here. So like I say, if you're here, you know, if I put a bit of oomph. Now even if it's a legato kind of thing, like when I was mucking around at the beginning of the video, you know, if I kind of do, I don't know. Now I'm muting out, I'm making sure that right hand is on top of the strings all the time. If I don't, it's going to be very noisy. You know, know, it's not too bad apart from the hum I'm getting from this pedal. But you know, I'm always kind of I'm always, making sure that hand is always doing something, Sometimes, my fingers will come into it. And if I'm doing more of a lead thing now. And then I've got my second and third just kind of touching those strings underneath it. Again, with a bit of grit. If I'm doing some sustain and letting a vibrato go, my fingers on this right hand are just kind of touching the strings to make sure nothing else is ringing out. So there I kind of felt my thumb, I could feel that fifth string start ringing, and it was about to sustain a bit. And I was playing the full string, so my thumb just kind of touched that fifth string. So any unwanted, any kind of part of your hand or fingers you're not using, use that to mute out those unwanted strings. It's very, very important. Very important. So I'm purposely getting a bit of it from the fret there on the fifth string, but I'm making sure if I don't mute that, so whatever I did. Get a bit more kind of unwanted string noise going on there as opposed to... Oh, sorry, that's the pick getting away. So hopefully this is kind of making sense here, so it should do, it's quite straightforward. So any kind of part of my hand I'm not using, I will use to mute out that string, especially, that's all muted out there. Okay, now the left hand as well is also very, very important. So let me turn off that was using the Boss SD1 just then as well. Alright, really cheap overdrive pedal, sounds great. If I take a pentatonic scale. Now, when I'm playing that first note, my first finger is laying across all those other strings there. Okay, very, very important that, because then say you want to do your kind of Hendrixy or John Frusciante kind of stuff, where you're playing one note but I'm muting out those, I'm strumming it like I would a chord, but because my first finger is laying across those other strings, it's muting it out, getting that kind of cool funky sound. Now if you've seen Hendrix do Killing Floor, watch I need he's doing all that, he's muting out those unwanted strings. You know what I mean? It's a really cool sound, you know. If I go back to A minor, if I'm just doing, say... Now if I did that without muting, first of all it would sound like this. Hideous. Or if I do it without strumming, not quite as exciting. So muting out those unwanted strings. You know, a lot more funky, a lot more funk rock, you know, Frusciante, Hendrix, you know, Bettencourt, you know. So if you think about it, when you're doing a power chord, for example, okay, there's my power chord. Now, hopefully if you're doing it right, take off those certain little fingers. You see what I mean, yeah? So that's, and it's the same thing going all the way down. So if I'm on the full string, I'm laying across the third string. The third, second and first string. Then the tip of my first finger is touching the fifth string. So, and then my thumb is popping up to say hello, and is touching the sixth string. And also I'm making damn sure I'll try not to hit it when I'm strumming. If I do, this is what you don't want to do. It's a bit much, you know what I mean? So I'm still aiming for that. You know, I'm still aiming for that full string there. So if you put all this into play, you should then start muting out all these strings. Hopefully this is making sense. It's hard when, you know, talking through a camera and I can't get a response back. But hopefully this is making sense, you know. So the right hand, you know, just take it back, run a scale or something. Let's get away from pentatonic, you know, run a major scale. You know, so you can still work on your picking, your down up picking. And when I'm doing it, hopefully you can, I'm starting here, my hands on the body. And now it's on top of that, no, the bottom strings, and muting out the unwanted ones. Then it comes back up and bada bing, we got a D chord. Okay, and the same thing though, like when I'm doing that, so the kind of pad of your finger, so in this case my second finger is touching that string underneath. You know what I mean? So it's just stopping, just in case, you know, potential, you know, outcast of string noise coming out. You know, so if I take the right hand away, okay, so that's what's being muted there just by my second finger, the fourth and first string. The others aren't being muted. Alright, but then if I bring my first finger into action, you know, no, you always want to keep your fingers close to guitar strings. You don't want to be going, you don't want to be doing that regardless, right? But if I'm here in a play ready, my first finger's behind it, and it's muting out, well, I guess the fourth and second strings, but won't be muted out of my second finger. You see what I mean? So all these little things, because your fingers are close, like when I'm playing that, you know, what's that, F sharp, G and A, the other strings are being muted underneath it. And then they're muting out the higher strings, and now the right hand will be kind of on the fifth and sixth as well, muting out the lower string. But at the same time, if I take that away, the fifth string still be muted out by the tip of my finger there. Okay, so it all plays, you know, so one looks after the other. So when you're playing, this is kind of a lesson as well in like keeping your fingers as close to the strings as possible, you know. Or take that scale. I'm always... Okay, so hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you some ideas in trying to mute out those unwanted strings. You know, let me know in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't, check out my website, mikebradleymusic.com, and you can get some, like I was saying earlier, you know, some lessons which are not on YouTube. And also be sure to check out some of my music, which means an awful lot. You can get it on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere, or if you want to be really cool, get a CD. You can order that from my website as well. And also I'm on Patreon, and thank you so much for the people who are starting to support me on there. It truly means a lot and helps me keep doing more and more YouTube videos. I would like to do more than 2 a week, really, if I can, but you know, we've got to try and live, haven't we? Anyway, so thank you so much for support. Hopefully this helps. Let me know in the comment section, like I was saying, and like and share as always. I've been Mike Bradley. Thank you for watching. I'm very much signing out. Bye.